Hello everyone and welcome back to Decisive Campaigns, the Blitzkrieg from Warsaw to Paris. This episode is brought to you by my Patreon supporter, Pumnorau. And with that said, let's continue where we left off. I'm pretty close to finishing up this turn, but I'm not quite there yet. So I'll be putting on the final touch. Or touches. For this turn. Like some of these guys, for example, they could still move, and oh, well, wouldn't I at that point? No thanks. All right. They are actually part of an infantry division, though. If you ask me, I'll just take that hex. It's nothing very special, but that could be useful. So I got these guys from 3rd Panzer to go in there, and to be honest, like even if they go back in here and surround them, so to say, I'm still looking for a bigger encirclement by crossing here as well and then moving. My problem here, though, is that if these guys move down, they might find themselves trapped, although they would also be coming from that side. Maybe it is better to just hold these area with these guys, so then it's a lot less likely they'll be able to unencircle them. I know that's not the entire 3rd Panzer, but I guess they'll be able to catch up maybe. So it's not gonna be as bad. 5th Corps is here. I also need to move that artillery. Let's move these into Liège and these into Eben Email for now. Just trying to take a look at what needs to be moved. I did get away from that because I don't feel like if they move in here, try to cross, I actually don't care. They'll basically somewhat fall into my trap there. So that is okay. Where are you part of that corps? Okay, that's fine. Alright, there are quite a few units that need to move here. They're part of this corps, and the question is, do I want to let them take care of this, or do I want to move them up? I think for now these guys might just be better off moving up. I just don't have the time, basically, to be dealing with all sorts of random stuff. But yeah, these guys will try to take care of that. Let's move you actually back to the other side. Like, this is not a good idea. So same for the engineers. Let's move them up here. Yeah, they can take back Fumé, but I don't really see how it's going to be a good idea to try and hold out with these engineers where they're clearly trying to get onto an offensive there. Then no need to try and move those. These guys. I don't have infantry here, so moving that is just not amazing. But let's just try to move those guys through. And I think that's pretty much it. These are just fighters, so they're not gonna do anything exciting there. Yeah, so we're actually moving into France here. At least we've crossed that border. That for now. You know, I'm just trying to look a bit here for moving through with fourth. Fourth is, yeah, I'll just have to see. It's a bit of a mess at that. I'm advancing pretty quickly here through Belgium, and the fact that there's no dial plan does mean like there are hardly any French and German or British forces here. So they've kind of left the Belgians to fend for themselves, which is obviously not that good for the Belgians. But yeah, we've reached the dial. Very likely we'll cross it soon. Cross the Meuse, but it's a bit questionable as to how solid this is. Just need to get the infantry across, and then we'll see what can be done. But we're catching up, so that's good. Anyway, I'll have to, yeah, let's end the turn, and then I'll meet you back on the other side, I think. Alright, back, and it's a clear weather turn, so that's nice. We have 43 victory points, so definitely not enough yet. 1% losses, all that stuff. Alright, let's take a look right up from the north. I need to get the mini-map though. Alright, so Netherlands still taking over. It seems like the Belgians retreated here for a bit. They re-established this, but I could just cut them off here and get these guys into the pocket. That's not a problem. I'll snag the 11th Infantry Division along the way. Seems like I can now cross somewhat easily. Probably not encircle Brussels in one go. I'll clear that, but it seems like these guys have retreated quite a bit, relocating around the 6th. Interestingly enough, but that does also allow me to kind of like keep moving for the moment. Seems like they encircled these guys, went on the offensive quite a bit here. Not too pleased about that, actually. They have mad stacks around there, so I'll have to go into a bit of a liberation of the sort, of some sorts, but it also potentially allows me to go for some encirclement, like for example on these forces. Alright, let's go through the history. It's this one. So first they went for some artillery. They made me lose some, and then attack the engineers. Quite a bit of losses actually. Then an actual attack. And again. And there, routing the engineers. And another attack. Some artillery there, but that's inconsequential. Same here, and that's it. All right. Let's once again just, I guess, start up here. With us moving towards Antwerp. The 14th Infantry Division is definitely in the best position to get close. Seems like they already destroyed the bridge from the north, though. Interesting development. Yeah. So these guys just moving along. Shame there's no river here, so... Well, I guess I could rail transfer them, so I have to see how useful that's gonna be. Generally... Where's the last part of the 56th, anyway? Down there, okay. That's not too bad. Actually a bit surprised they cannot cross that river. Which army are you on? On the 9th. Alright. Well, if I'm gonna use the 19th, what do they have here? Also part of the 18th. All right. I'm using the 19th as a blockade here, with the artillery moving in as well. So closing in on Antwerp from that side, I could technically even move in through there and circle 1 or 2 more units. Actually, okay, so they got a few more divisions there, so that is not likely to proceed according to plan. But I'll still be able to also fill this with the 31st. It's not as if it's entirely going to be a big mess. Yeah, I also had the artillery for the 31st. So all of these guys take care of this. You're part of the 9th Corps. So I'd rather have these approach from this side. Although I should have a third part of the 30th, or just another part, coming in through here. The most important element here, of course, is the 20th motorized, which we'll need to find a way to proceed there. They're part of the 8th. I'll let the 87th deal with this. Good. And I guess part of the 28th. Does that help? No. Okay. That's fine. They were easy enough to deal with anyway. I will try to move further along with the 8th at that point. Seems like they... have some British forces, interestingly enough. might be a possibility for these to go down and circle some British forces over there. But then I do need you guys to do recon there. And I need you to do recon in here. All right. Very important indeed. How many... Belgium has 55 now. They also need to get to 40. So Belgium does take quite a bit longer. Of course, this and this. Taking both of those will already take it to 45. They still need way bigger losses at that point before they would even start considering surrendering here. They do have a lot in this stack. But they've been out for the count for a while, so even though they do have plenty of integrity, their readiness is, I think, quite low. What I want to do is get both of them there and then actually start blasting them out just a little bit more. I think it's worthwhile. Yeah, this is what I need. There we go. Obviously, it's still taking some losses, but taking all of these guys out is very useful. Hey, it was able to go down there. Now it isn't. That's sad. That sure is a disappointment. That's probably a lot more challenging to deal with. Let's try to deal with these. I do have another artillery that actually gets to be in range. I'm not gonna use bombers on this one part. Oh. I do need to clear out these cyclists too, though. Please tell me you have... come on. Haste is absolute bonkers, so I was really hoping to be able to play that haste card out there. you get back, by the way, I might be doing the shopping already. Just so you know. Alright. So let's see, because this is just light urban for Leuven. I might be able to smoke these guys out already if the right units go there. I need strategic bombers, because for light urban, no, both of them are actually doing badly. I still need to disorganize them at the very least. And I don't think I want to use the artillery on the panzers, but I do want to get these. I know artillery is not amazing this way, and I'm very likely to get hurt, but I really need to clear those guys out. You guys are part of these, but they also don't have the carts. It's part of the 35th. Yeah, I know it hurts, but it's gonna be terrible. Yep, I got quite a few losses, but I think that for the continuation of my movement here, it really had to be done, I think. Now this will at the very least, or very likely, surround these forces here as well. Not up there. But it does this way, so obviously my encirclement there is weak, because they can also just go and escape through there. But I actually think that these guys can hold. I don't think Brussels will be empty. I know that might come as a shocker, but I don't think so. Alright, that does also mean that I want to move them further up there. Still trying to also clear these guys around Hasselt. Going in here does not allow me to attack. So that would be a bad deal regardless. Well, let's continue moving some of these. So let's move you by rail. And say I'm going to transfer them up there. That doesn't cost too much, luckily. Then some other units. 227th as an entire unit. Can be reeled there. And then I should start working on some of the other ones. Maybe I can actually transfer you as well. Let's do that. Good. And now alright, so for these it's practically impossible, but it does mean that the 256th at least now is pretty close. That's good. Never should let a buying opportunity go to waste, I think. I also want to hurt the artillery because I don't want them to damage my engineers, which are in a vulnerable position, especially with some of these guys here. I know that they are technically encircled, but it doesn't bode super well. Okay, well, that's the 4th. I have some artillery. That's way too far. Because what I'll do is use artillery. It's a relatively small part, so I think that by attacking from multiple sides, like this many, it should be a bit easier to attack. Yeah. Okay, that's a shame. But they're part of the 5th Corps, and especially as a reserve unit, I think they are ideally suited to take care of things like that. Whereas they should probably try to move on a bit too. This does bring them close to the bridge, so I do think that is excellent. 61st is part of the 4th Corps. So they should definitely be spearheading the crossing, since they also have those motorized units, etc. here. Yeah, so they are going to take care of this together with the 7th, which is part of the 4th Corps, unfortunately. So I actually should be putting these guys under the 5th. Yeah, so these guys can then move forward, because otherwise that's just going to be no good. Let's move you up. Let's go back to the Netherlands, because we still haven't taken care of all of these. And it's probably best to do that in one go. They can probably not move that much anymore. Anyway. The 208th is quite scattered. Just like the 254th. Well, actually, most of my units in the Netherlands here are very much spread out. And doing a group movement wastes all the movement of one of these units. So I'd rather just do this separately. We obviously cannot evacuate through any of those areas because we are already getting in there. Yeah, 1st Cavalry. th Army can stay where it is. Those guys are doing well and fine. Okay, so I have taken care of the units throughout the Netherlands and moving in here. I do think we still have quite a significant part of those forces dealt with. I also think it's probably a good idea to quickly try and deal with this cav, if at all possible. Any artillery for the 28th? Should be around the area. Here. I already used it. Okay. Then I would need other artillery, but it seems like I've already used all of it. Then the best thing I can do probably here oh, I do have an artillery, great. Not that it will do all that much. Still 200. So what I'm looking for is a unit that can get in there and then still attack. That's probably too much to ask for. So 75, 45 makes it 30, so that's impossible. So I would just have to attack it from 4 sides. You are part of the second corps, cannot play any cards. This is 8 Panzer, so... Alright. Again, this might hurt me. Didn't, luckily. Great. It just helps my situation overall. Quite a lot. So I'm certainly not complaining there. Now, what I'm gonna do... Let's see. I can stay. But they most certainly need to move. Over here, I don't see the British getting there anyhow. You guys have 75, so I think a few chars, huh? And a lot of Samoas there. Not that they're going to attack from that side, very likely. I guess could also move closer in there. Still feel that an encirclement here might actually be in the cards that would encircle these, but I would need to at the very least defend this quite well, which I think I've done this way. If they want to move in there, they can also be my guest. Yeah, I don't have any speed moves. I'm actually surprised they have that many forces around there. Well, technically for these guys to be able to move all the way here, they would be very close to Cambrai, for example, along this movement. Well, I do also need to clear these units. Wow. Okay. That is quite something. And one thing that I would be interested in doing, though, is this. I know that destroys the bridge, but what I need to do here like I need to encircle these this third division. So the correct way to do it, I suppose, would be like this, and well, I don't want them to encircle me. I know this does look a bit strange. Okay. Wow. Did not have any vision on that, huh? Like, these guys have a tough time crossing the Meuse River here, obviously. Although the infantry seems to have an easier time at it. Interestingly enough. One of these seems to be quite weak as artillery, and then also another part of colonial vision. Because, again, I might potentially be able to encircle 9,000 troops here on that infantry division. Perhaps. I'm not so sure whether I do want to keep attacking. Either way, I think for now, though, I'm going to wrap things up. I do hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please leave a like, comment, or subscribe. A special shout out to all my Patreon supporters: Dungeon Pastor, Thomas B. Marshall, C Data, Swords, Boomnarau, and Thomas Loft Trillion. Thanks for watching, everyone. Take care, and bye-bye.